Welcome to Smart CRM Basics. In this episode of Optimus PostFunnel Insider series, we're going to explore the topic of customer segmentation and cluster analysis, how you can exploit this algorithm to better understand your customer base and really push your marketing efforts in the right direction. So in the context of customer segmentation, cluster analysis utilizes a mathematical model to discover groups of similar customers based on finding the smallest variations within each group. These homogeneous groups share similar characteristics, are known as customers' archetypes or personas. In marketing, we use cluster analysis to accurately segment customers and exploit more personalized marketing campaigns. A common cluster analysis method is the K-mean cluster analysis, also referred to as scientific segmentation. This assists with creating better customer models and predictive analytics, used to create offers and incentives offered tailored to the customer's preferences, needs, and wants. Before looking at the advantages of cluster analysis, let's first take a look at using threshold rule segmentation. In threshold segmentation approaches, the marketing selects a priori thresholds, essentially setting firm boundaries, typically in 2 dimensions, and divides customers accordingly. This approach has several limitations. Thresholds are predetermined, leading to results that usually meet initial hypothesis. There will be very large variances amongst the customers found in each segment, and it's very difficult to perform the segmentation in more than 2 dimensions. The visualization illustrates why this approach offers a weak segmentation. As can be seen, the 2 highlighted customers, even though share similar purchasing patterns, are very different. They are, however, being included in the same group of customers. Cluster analysis, on the other hand, offers a more analytical representation of your customer base. There are 3 main advantages. Practicality. It is impossible to determine predetermined thresholds to accurately segment over many dimensions. Homogeneity. Variances within each resulting group are very small in cluster analysis, whereas in rule-based segmentation, typically groups customers who are actually very different one from another. And lastly, dynamic clustering. The cluster's definition changes every time a clustering algorithm runs, ensuring that the groups always accurately reflect the current state of the data. The visualization now displays 5 distinct customer persona in the same dataset, instead of the 4 groups that we had predetermined. Now let's take a closer look at a dataset. Based on this data, we have segmented and created 5 distinct groups based on the following attributes: number of deposit days in the last 3 months and total deposit amount in the last 3 months. The 5 groupings are the following: customers that have high depositing days and a high deposit amount, customers that have high depositing days but low depositing amount, and so on. Something to note is that we keep the cluster size as homogeneous as possible without disregarding the purpose of the analysis. Now let's take a look at these groups. As you can see, the groups reflect different behavioral patterns and are more precisely grouped together which share similar characteristics. We would treat customers with high depositing days and high depositing amounts very much different compared to customers that are non-depositors, that essentially have 0 number of deposit days and 0 total deposit amount. Essentially, each of these customer archetypes tells a very different story, and thus will be targeting in a very different way. Hope you enjoyed today's topic, and don't forget to check all the other videos on Optimove's Learning Center. Ciao!